Cześć, tutaj Moni and welcome to Learn Polish with Advanced Lesson 23 Part 2. So this is the second part of a lesson on the second conjugation and we left off with verb mrozić. And today we're starting with hojić and as you can see, when we've got DZI, we will be dropping the I there in second, third person singular and the first and second person plural. We will start with z and we finish with the z. So kind of open the conjugation and finish the conjugation if you like. That was my explanation on the last lesson. So let's see. Chodzić, the infinitive. Okay, so we go here to start the conjugation. We drop the I first in the first person. Chodzę, I go. Chodzę, right? But straight away we go back to that left part and we carry on with the second, third person, first plural, second plural, right? So for another four grammatical persons, we carry on with our G. So chodzisz, you go. Chodzi, no ending, so we're dropping SZ, no ending. Then we've got chodzimy, chodzicie, and back to our right side here, chodzą, right? So once more, chodzę, chodzisz, back to I, chodzi, chodzimy, chodzicie, chodzą. So I go, you go, on chodzi, he goes, chodzimy, we go, chodzicie, you go, chodzą, they go. Now, another verb, this is quite complicated as you can see. We've got here some consonant clusters and here we've got S accent CI, so ści, as you can see this S accent CI is here just before our C accent, our last letter, so ści, right? And look how this will change, alternate in first and the last person, so first person singular, third person plural. Let's see. Where you've got ści, you replace it with szcz. So, zazdroszczę, right? And this is our ending for the first person. Zazdroszczę, and that means I envy. That verb means to envy something. Zazdroszczę, I envy. Now back to our ści with the, right, as that. So, zazdrościsz, zazdrościsz, you envy. Ona zazdrości, she envies. Zazdrościmy, we envy. Zazdrościcie, right, you plural envy. And back to our szt, zazdroszczą, right? So we've got szycze, opening conjugation, szycze, finishing it, and four grammatical persons have this I here, right? So once more, zazdrościć, in the stem we've got ści, that will alternate to szt, right? So now, let's look at jeżdżę, jeździsz, jeździ, what this is all about. And that's our verb jeździć, to go, but some kind of means of transport. So that means to go and that also means to go, but we've got different meanings for to go, and I will have a separate video explaining that in the near future. So if you don't know, if there are students listening to this lesson on intermediate level and you are quite confused, you don't know when to use chodzić, iść, jeździć, jechać, there will be a separate lesson on that. I already have one lesson on that, but there will be a separate one. So, jeździć, jeździć. So look at this. When we've got, and I apologize that this line goes kind of through the first consonant. When we've got Z accent, DZI, so ździ in our stem, ździ, that's what I'm talking about here. What happens, we've got D surrounded with Z with dots, źdż, źdż. This is how we pronounce this consonant cluster. Źdż. So it's źdż, quite difficult to pronounce. And as you can expect, we will start the conjugation with this alternation and we will finish with this alternation. So, jeżdżę, jeżdżę, and for first person. Go back to I. Jeździsz, right? Jeździsz, jeździ, jeździmy, jeździcie. So carry on for four further grammatical persons and finish with jeżdżą, right? So jeżdżę, I go by bus, for instance. They go by bus. Jeżdżą autobusem. By bus would be autobusem in Polish. Jeździsz, you go. Jeździsz autobusem. You go by bus. On jeździ autobusem. He goes by bus. Jeździmy. Jeździcie. We go. You, plural, go. But oni or one, if it's about females only, one jeżdżą. Jeżdżą. So this is how this consonant cluster alternates when it comes to first person singular and third person plural. So to summarize this part, these verbs, we can say that we've got more or less, there will be exceptions, absolutely, and there will be some verbs that will not follow that rule. It's not the 100% perfect guide, but I think it's a very, very good beginning, especially when you are confused and you don't know anything about conjugations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So 6 types of alternations when it comes to conjugation number 2. So the second conjugation, we alternate changing letters or consonants, if you like, in the first and the last person. So they kind of have it in common, right? You can see it's SZ here, sh. It's the same here. C, cą, so cę, cą, żę, żą. Or maybe it's actually good to look at it this way. Szę, szą, cę, cą, żę, żą, dzę, dzą, szczę, szczą, right? Żdżę, żdżą. And in between, you've got this the stem that follows. Okay, so now when it comes to those verbs that have YC accent or EC accent, so we're not talking about IC accent, but epsilon, either epsilon or E, right? So epsilon or E, you will notice that some consonants, especially sh, ch, zh, that's exactly the same consonant, but spelling is different. So zh, and that's also zh. So pronunciation of these two is the same. We will have a rule of conjugation, rule that follows a certain pattern. So you will never have SZ and each IC accent, okay? So these consonants won't be followed by IC accent. It will be either YC C accent or EC accent, you will have different ending, but not IC accent. So these 4 consonants, right? When you look at the verb, let's say suszyć, which is to dry, you look at this verb, you think, oh, it's an epsilon there. I need to investigate a little bit more, right? Because I've got SZ there. So because you've got SZ, which is here, you can apply this pattern, exactly this pattern as you can see here, which is for the verb to dance, tańczyć. And the verb will be conjugated in that specific pattern. So what you then do is you take or drop off either epsilon or C accent or EC accent, so either this bit or this bit, right? So last vowel and the consonant, so vowel, consonant, and then you can apply those endings, right? So it won't be ESZ, but YSZ, right? That's why we've got this these 2 options there. So, but it will be right? So, tańczę, I'm dancing or I dance. If you drop this bit, you will put right? Like this at the very end, and you will have suszę, I'm drying or I dry. The same will be with this verb, which is to shout, krzyczeć. So KRZ is pronounced as more like KSZ, krzyczeć, right? So what you do, take away EC accent, last vowel and last consonant, and apply right? This is our kind of guideline that you can see here. So krzyczę, right? Take away this bit in the verb to dream, marzyć, and I dream will be marzę, right? You already can see how this verb conjugates, right? This is our pattern. Excuse me. So tańczyć, tańcza, this is this pattern. So all you need to do is to take away the last vowel, last consonant, and apply these endings. So let's see. Suszę, now suszysz, right? Suszysz. Then we've got suszy, like tańczy. Then we've got suszymy, like tańczymy. Suszycie, like tańczycie. And suszą, like tańczą, right? So let's look at krzyczeć, to shout. Krzyczę, right? And despite E here, never mind that we've got E there, we will still have epsilon as Z, as an ending, right? So, krzyczysz, right? Krzyczy, like tańczy. Krzyczymy, krzyczycie, krzyczą, right? So I shout, you shout, he, she, or it shouts, where we shout, you shout, they shout, right? Let's look at marzyć. Take away the ending and you are left with marz. Apply the ending. Marzę, I dream. Marzysz, you dream. Ona marzy, she dreams. Marzymy, we dream. Marzycie, you plural dream. Oni or one marzą, they dream. Right, and tańczyć is already there. So get yourself familiar with those 4 consonants because you won't see them here with IC accent. They will have the ending either epsilon C accent or E C accent, right? And if they do, then this is the pattern that you are going to follow. So what is your way of thinking when or approach or plan when you are you see a verb and you think it's the second conjugation, right? So let's look at hoji, right? So first of all, you look at hoji and you know it won't be, right? There's a very little chance that it could be the first conjugation. It's not ować, it's not awać, it's not ać, right? Okay, we've got each there, but we've got two syllables. And on top of that, right, we've got DZI, right, which you would be familiar with on, right? So you know, all right. So if I've got IC accent and then DZ, I know that DZI, I know this bit here in the stem. I know what to do. This will be the strange tongue twister conjugation, right? When I've got a Z in the first person, dzę, actually, dzą in the third person plural, and then this will follow throughout in the middle, right? When you see krzyczeć, right? You think, okay, it's not IC accent verb, so I don't need to worry too much about different types of alternation at this stage, right? So I can relax. It's not one of those. So let's see if this is one of those strange consonants that Moni was talking in lesson 23, part 2. Well, it is, isn't it? It's C. Z, it's ch. So you know that it's going to be that pattern, right? So this is your pattern. Let's look at robić, right? When you look at, or lubić, for instance, lubić, lubić, right, doesn't have an L in the stem, right? So lubić ends like robić with a B. You know it doesn't have strange chi, ji, ji, okay, tongue twister things. So it cannot be any of this, right? You also know that lubić doesn't end with ch or edge, so it's not that. It's 99-100% chance it's going to be this pattern, right? And it is. Lubię, lubisz, lubi. Lubimy, lubicie, lubią, right? So at the very beginning, you need to kind of get to a little bit of analytical thinking, what it could be. And I appreciate that it's going to be quite difficult, and you will find a lot of verbs that will be exceptions, or they won't follow but certain rules. But just the fact that you are trying to investigate and you kind of looking at different rules is absolutely great at the very beginning, right? So a problem with Polish conjugations is that, and verbs really, is that they have they're so different, and they are, let's call it, really naughty, and they don't want to behave in a specific way on many occasions. So you need to kind of, it would be great if we had one rule or two rules and we could kind of go about in this way, but we cannot. So this is very good guide, or kind of templates, if you like, that you can follow at the very, very beginning. Once you know your way about nosić, płacić, once you learn them by heart, and you hear actually yourself conjugating and speaking out loud, once you come across a verb, let's say to chill, something like water or champagne, chłodzić, right? So you won't be worried, because you will think, okay, chłodzić is so much like chodzić, it must be chłodzę, chłodzisz, chłodzi, and it is. Another example, the verb to threaten in Polish is grozić, right? So once you learned mrozić, when you hear yourself saying grozić, right, you will hear that zi there, and you will think, it's probably like grożę, grozisz, grozi, right? Following that pattern, and it is. So my point is that it's good to learn this. It's a good beginning, and this is what you need at this stage. So don't worry about more learning more examples and worrying too much about the conjugation. It will come naturally to you at some point, right? You will learn all the exceptions and you will learn all the odd ones. So my advice is just practice, learn that by heart. Learn that by heart, and just try to remember, even if that means that you have post-it notes everywhere and you're just looking at these verbs every single day and just getting yourself familiarized with them is really enough. Okay, enough of this. Thank you for your patience, and in the next lesson I'm going to go to conjugation number 3, so it's going to be lesson 24. Then I'm going to cover irregular verbs, some of them irregular verbs, and then we will have a practice lesson. Thank you very much, and I until next time. Bye.